This village in Bangladesh has found a traditional method to deal with their erosion problem. How do they do it? Find out on this episode of Your Blue Continent.
In the densely populated developing nation of Bangladesh, as many as 46 million people are living along the coast. With the forceful Jamuna River ravaging the sandy soil along its banks, river shore erosion has a significant effect on the livelihoods and subsistence of nearly one-third of Bengalis. In Bangladesh, at least 100,000 people are forcibly displaced each year, with 5 million at risk of losing their land. Loss of agricultural land causes food shortages and the inviability of whole communities. Unable to cultivate, raise livestock, support occupations, send their children to school, or maintain their social fabric. One group which has taken an active role in organizing communities to address their own problems is Ubinig, which is a Bengali acronym for Policy Research for Development Alternative. Active since formation as concerned colleagues in 1984, Ubinig has taken a thoughtful, long-term perspective to addressing community issues such as ecology, education, and subsistence farming, including organic seed diversity and access. At their headquarters in Dhaka, I spoke with several of their leaders, including founders Farbad, Manzhar, and Farida Akhtar.
Akhtar, now Ubinig's executive director, described their egalitarian organizational structure.
We do not even call the staff, we call them ACRONYM. ACRONYM means my colleague. We are all working together. From 1984 till now, every last Friday of the month, we have study circle.
To address the eroding riverbanks, the organization spoke with villagers who were most affected by the problem and discovered a traditional solution which had originated with the people themselves.
They said that we used to have a technology. We know that we can change the direction of river water and then the land will be created. It's called bamboo binding.
Made from bamboo tied together, connected with netting, these devices called chatkas interrupt the eroding soil and redirect the wide and shallow zigzagging Jamuna River, causing it to accrete additional sand islands of land in the middle of the river called chars.
It's very angry.
The villagers also have a legal right of ownership to all lands created through this process.
They in fact have the papers to claim the land.
In recent years, Ubinig has helped small communities build at least 4 strategically placed chatkas to reclaim land for agricultural and pastoral activities. But the technology is more complicated than a simple construction, as Managing Director Farhad Manzhar explained.
To do this technology, we had to mobilize for 2 and 3 years. It's not simply a piece of bamboos they put in there. It's also the organization itself. How we are going to include that organization. Because it presupposes that farmers are united. They have a common goal and they have to solve the problem. And they need to recover the lands which will destroy the river.
He said that understanding the personality of the river is essential for the intervention to work.
Not only the technology, training the river, you have to develop a knowledge about the river there. So you can't explain this thing with the technology.
I knew I had to get out and see these chatkas in action.
We left immediately. I was introduced to their man, Chunu, who took me first to the outskirts of the 750,000-person city of Tangail, a brutal 90 kilometers of Bengali bus travel away. When we reached the river the following day, along the shores of the village of Bantir in Bangladesh's northwestern Sitaganj district, it was clear that the village of less than 1,000 people was strongly affected by the erosion.
The eroding soil had not only taken their land, but had taken their homes and livelihoods as well in many cases.
Thus, with the application of the chatka, villagers and farmers stood to legally reclaim their land. Astoundingly, since beginning the project, more than 75 hectares have been reclaimed by chatkas in Bangladesh.
It has always been breaking like this.
Yes, always breaking. That is why they are changing in every year. They are changing their household.
They have to move their house every year.
Yeah, every year.
Wow.
You can imagine, dangerous their lifestyle. They are struggling with their life.
With the angry, zigzagging Jamuna River changing course nearly every year, experts like sexagenarian villager Mohammed Ansar Ali meets with other members of his community to strategically plan how the chatka will be implemented.
Is it food?
It is food.
This is called German.
Ansar Ali says the chatka is a traditional part of his culture, which was somewhat forgotten for a period. They are constructed like a dam, holding the soil but releasing the water, constructed by weaving together bamboo and netting one after another.
There's a lot of increasing their nutrition. They didn't buy anything, they are growing themselves.
Ubinig, as part of their community-based management program, funded in part by the Norwegian Development Fund, provides money for materials such as bamboo, nails, and rope to construct the chatkas after the community has planned how they will be built and implemented.
The chatka can be installed and repositioned later.
After it achieves its purpose to raise up sandy soil for the planting of korcha grasses, vegetables, paddy rice, legumes, and high-value peanut crops. Preventing the erosion has saved crop fields, dwelling houses, schools, and the town market and other buildings and infrastructure, boosting the overall health, finance, grazing resources, and maintaining public gathering spaces. 1,325 people and 265 families benefited directly from the intervention. Rice, sesame, millet, groundnut, black gram, mustard, wheat, and barley are grown in the 4 villages where this project was carried out.
They plan to use some of the money they preserved to construct even more chatkas.
Careful planning and design are needed, taking into account the course of the river and how much force the chatka can resist.
Clearly, food security is a major focus for families in this area. One way that Ubinig supports this goal is through a network of seed banks. I'm here visiting an Ubinig facility near Tangale, Bangladesh.
Ubinig Managing Director Farbad Manzhar talked to me about the significance of Bengali seeds, which also manage an essential role by holding the soil in place. He said they try to develop a community awareness by collecting local seeds, doing research, and demonstrating how the local seeds can produce even more than the so-called advanced seeds, marketed by international companies.
Bangladesh has 15,000 local varieties of rice.
Wow.
15,000. So 15,000 means 15 different way of cultivating rice. It's not simply a number. It's a 15,000 different knowledge practices. Because one variety is very different than the other.
Behind me, there are 2,500 different varieties of rice that are being tested here. Their seed efforts have culminated in the creation of a regional organic seed banking program that avoids the use of pesticides, known as the NARIETIES Seed Network.
With community seed well centers and seed huts in accessible areas, farmers borrow and replace as needed, paying back twice whatever they draw out.
And what the cluck am I doing with all these organic chickens?
Women have a special role in management of the centers, and the center I visited features seeds from more than 1,700 varieties of paddy rice, 161 varieties of legumes, 47 beans, chili, and others.
Want to see an interesting way to crush grains? Check out what these ladies are doing. The gene bank was started with the help of Dr. Sobhan, now 76, who studied in Arkansas long ago.
We have the same weather, they have the Mississippi, we have the Jamuna, big river, and raining. They grow rice, we also grow rice.
Wow.
In Bangladesh, Sobhan became a jute specialist, which is an affordable Bengali plant-based fiber often spun into clothing similar to cotton. Sobhan had then created a gene bank for jute and other fibers.
I have 3 daughters and 5 granddaughters.
So you have 8 daughters and granddaughters. So it must be funny to see your family picture with you and 9 women.
Ubinig is unique as an organization because, since their founding, they've had a clear focus on the intentionality of what they're doing.
We cannot just say that this is not good, this is bad, but we also have to demonstrate how to do it. Be the people's voice.
Farbad uses a farmer's familiarity with Islamic tradition to teach about the natural processes.
The ecological perspective of Islam, and Islam is an ecological religion anyway. The notion of human being is stood. You can't simply use a pesticide and kill a life, an insect. They have the right for the food, and they are not actually destroying the crop.
He said they pointed out all the living animals unseen in the soil and appealed to them as Muslims.
That touched their heart. And they said, then how are we going to cultivate? Because we need pesticide, we need fertilizer. I said, that I don't know. I'm not a farmer. This is you're the farmer. It's most interesting part, because they feel they have invented it, but they have done it, and they're realizing their own by their own knowledge system.
So what did we learn in today's episode?
Today we learn that sometimes the best solutions to environmental problems can come from the people themselves who have lived with the situation the longest. We learn that whatever religious tradition you come from, it's possible to use this narrative to connect with non-traditionally educated people to solve their ecological issues. And we learned about jute fiber, useful for making clothing, which you've probably never heard of before. Thank you to those who supported our fundraising campaign last year, to our sponsors, and the great music used in this program from Mombasa and Bengali artists Ali Akbar Khan, Badal Roy, Ferdowsi Rahman, Shapla Shalik, and Vilayat Khan. I'd like to remind everyone about our initiative called the Blue Continent Fine Arts Alliance. Located on the websites for Artspan, Fine Arts America, and Saatchi Art, you can find fine art images from incredible artists around the world that I've had the pleasure of meeting throughout my travels to develop this series, and also some of my own work. We'd like to thank Ubinig for their work and for allowing us to cover it on our series. If you're interested in what they're doing, please visit their website, here, or if you'd like to contribute your skills or knowledge, send an email to this address. Please subscribe and share widely. Click the link in the corner to subscribe to our channel. In our next episode, we'll visit a project to restore the all-important mangroves in Myanmar, also called Burma, nature's top line of defense against rising sea levels.
Until next time, I'm Brennan. Peace.
Boom!